Hello, hello, good afternoon. I think it's past noon, so it's good afternoon. I've been thinking what I want to focus on today, because self-love is such a vast and complex topic, and there's also lots of confusion around it. But again, before I go into the topic, I'm Ashka Colton, the founder of Get Ready for Love and the Dating Detox Specialist, and I work with single ladies who are frustrated with dating and struggling to find the right guy, and I help them unleash the high quality woman within, so they start loving themselves more, valuing themselves more, and as a result they stop making the same mistakes in love, and they start making more empowered romantic choices, and finally they attract the guy they truly deserve. And hey Bata, how are you? And what I focus on in my work is self-love, because I personally believe that there's no true love without self-love. In other words, if we don't love ourselves, it will be very difficult to attract people who will truly and deeply love us, because we won't allow it. We won't allow ourselves to receive it. So I don't do dating advice, I don't give tips how to be more attractive, flirty, seductive, because I believe this is a second stage. The first stage is to go within and shift your internal issues with recognizing your own value, with loving yourself, with having to create an amazing relationship with yourself, because it's the source of the true security, because the security and the confidence need to come from within. And then when you get to this happy place with yourself, when you start feeling happy, you become more attractive, you become less desperate, less lonely, and from this place, looking for love and looking for the right man is much easier. It's happened to me, and it's happened to many people I've worked with and many of my friends. First, you need to become happy with who you are, with your life, before you can attract a happy guy and a happy relationship. And self-love helps you achieve it. That's why I believe self-love is such a game changer. If you have been struggling in love, if you have been losing yourself in relationships, if you have been meeting the wrong type of guys, you need to take a step back and work on yourself and self-love, rather than do more dating like I did, and it took me about 10 years to find the right person. So don't make these mistakes, learn from me and follow my guidance, and you'll get the quicker than me. So, self-love, such a big topic and such a confusing topic, because there are so many people who talk about it, because I believe this message is very important. Women need to hear it all the time, on repeat, because we don't get it. We don't get it, and we dishonor ourselves, and we don't know how to value ourselves, and we don't know how to appreciate and ourselves and recognize our own value. And because of that, we compromise so much in love and in life, and we miss out on so many things, on amazing relationships, on amazing adventures, on amazing careers, on finding our purpose. So self-love is crucial. If you want to do any work on yourself, do the work on self-love, and it will change any area of your life. So when I work with my clients, I very often hear, I don't know how to love myself, I don't know how to love myself. And I get that, because we are not being taught how to love ourselves. We are being taught how to love others, how to give, how to do things for others and please them, but not how to actually give to ourselves and honor our own needs and putting ourselves first. And I believe your life is only in balance if you take care of yourself first. Otherwise, you'll be giving from an empty cup. So you won't be able to give much anyway. And you'll feel resentful, drained and tired. And life won't be fun. So, to talk about self-love, I have to give you my own definition, because I think it's a bit different. My approach to self-love is very practical, like in everything else in my life. I'm very practical. And I was confused myself for many, many years. And I believed, you know, you have to shower yourself with this kind of loving feelings and being compassionate with yourself and being kind and feel the love for yourself. And yeah, it's part of the definition, but it's not just that. Because it was hard for me to also feel that daily, that I love myself. And it was hard for me to forgive myself certain things, accept certain mistakes and decisions, and do things which would be loving all the time. It wasn't easy. So over the years, and there's a long story which I was planning to share with you, but I'm gonna leave it for another day because it's a long story, how I came to a place of creating my own definition of self-love. So let's start from the place where I have kind of defined for myself what self-love meant to me. So for me, it's not as much about the feeling the love for yourself, but actually doing the self-love kind of practice. So self-love for me is about choosing yourself, putting yourself first when you can, making yourself feel important in your own life. And it goes even further out. It's about choosing the things, the situations and the people which feel good, which are good for you and which serve you. So you stop doing things against yourself, things which harm you, things which don't serve you. And as I mentioned, it is a practice, so you need to keep practicing to actually get proficient at it. You over the time, it becomes like a second nature. It's much easier for me after so many years to recognize when I'm dishonoring my needs, when I'm dishonoring my own boundaries, when I'm not loving myself. I very quickly have a reaction in my body and I feel this, I hear this voice, you know, Ashka, you're not being loving. You're eating crap, change that. You haven't been exercising, change that. You have been focusing on other people and you have abandoned yourself, change that. So I very quickly now can make changes and can recognize it. A while ago, I very often forgot about loving myself and got lost in life and in friendships and relationships, and it didn't feel right because I believe when we don't love ourselves, we betray ourselves. And self-betrayal is the worst one because, you know, you can betray other people, you can say sorry, you can kind of amend it, but when you betray yourself, you have to spend years mending yourself and finding your strength again and your confidence and your self-esteem. So it takes lots of time and lots of work. So that's my definition of self-love. And how do you practice it? If you want to generate the feeling, imagine yourself as a little child, as a little girl, and what kind of feelings do you feel for the little innocent human being? Obviously you feel compassion, you feel kindness, you feel love. Just close your eyes and connect with those feelings. There's a little girl in front of you and it's you when you were 2, let's say, and feel these feelings. Connect with those feelings of unconditional love, support, affection, compassion, kindness. And then imagine you are growing and as an adult right now you're standing in front of you and you just transfer the same feelings onto you. And you cultivate them in your heart and you feel unconditional love, compassion, affection. You give yourself support right now. So this is how I started to connect with the feeling. But as I mentioned, self-love is not just about the feeling. It's about saying no to many things. Saying no to being judgmental with yourself, saying no to being harsh on yourself, beating yourself up, criticizing yourself, judging yourself. You have to say no to all these things which are not very loving. That's the first step. And the second step, you also have to create little changes, like for example strengthening your boundaries. So You protect yourself, but you also let other people know how you want to be treated and where they stand with you. So boundaries. You have to say no to pleasing others. You have to say yes to putting yourself first and putting your own needs first. When you can, because I think, let's be realistic, when you have a family and kids, there will be times that you have to choose your family and your kids. But if you do it constantly, you will be abandoning yourself and you'll be losing yourself in motherhood, in relationships, in marriages. So you have to find a balance. If you have been giving and giving and giving in your marriage, in your relationship, to your kids, and you feel run down, you feel frustrated, angry, that's a sign that you need to go back to yourself and start giving to yourself and start putting your needs first. So let's be realistic, because I think it's almost impossible if you have lots of people in your life. If you are single, you can only focus on yourself and it's much easier. But if you have a family and little kids, it's a little bit more challenging to put yourself first. But you have to learn how to balance these things, what feels right for you, before you start losing yourself and abandoning yourself and betraying yourself. So you have to stop saying no to pleasing others, and you have to stop saying no to compromising in love. Which means that if you find yourself in a situation that the partner is not giving you what you want, the relationship is not making you feel satisfied, loved, taken care for, you have to kind of change that situation by first probably talking to your partner if he wants the same things as you. And if he can't step up and if he doesn't want the same thing as you, you have to leave. Because leaving means choosing yourself. Leaving means choosing yourself. And I remember once I was in a relationship when the guy didn't have time for me. But the fact that I was in a relationship was somehow comforting. I didn't want to be single. I didn't want to be lonely. I didn't want to go back to my kind of empty weekends when I had to do things on my own, because from time to time I did things with this guy. And it was difficult to let go of it, but I had a moment of awakening. I thought, I'm not getting anything from this relationship. It's just filling the gap. And it created an illusion that I had someone in my life, but I actually didn't have him, because he wasn't committed, he wasn't giving me what I wanted. We were absolutely incompatible, but in my head, the idea of being with him was better and more comfortable than being single. And when I had this a moment of awakening, I was like thinking, you're betraying yourself. You're betraying yourself and you're depriving yourself of a nice relationship with a man who is eager to give and eager to make you happy and compatible with you and wants the same things as you. So by staying in this relationship, which was dysfunctional and not very loving, I was depriving myself of having something completely different, something which would actually make me happy. So I made a decision and I split up. And even though it was difficult, it was also very empowering at the same time. And it was the most loving thing I could have done to myself, because later on I went on to my journey to self-love, and I started my dating detox, and I reconnected with myself, and I refocused, and I started to enjoy my life as a single person. I dissolved the desperation and life became much easier. And I reached my happy place, and then manifested my partner was very easy. Within almost few months of dating, when I started to date again, I met the love of my life. So it can be so easy when you are ready. And when you are ready, I mean, you love yourself, you are happy with yourself, you have an amazing relationship with yourself. You don't need a partner, but you want him. It's a completely different energy. So obviously you're not going on dates feeling desperate, I need a relationship, I need a rescuer. and you send different energy out there, like I'm happy with myself, I'm happy with my life, I'm a fun to be person, and guys feel drawn to it, they feel attracted to it. So in terms of self-love, there is more to do and there's more to say, but I'm gonna leave it for another day, and I'm gonna probably come with another 5 things you can do to love yourself more. I did a live stream yesterday, 5 signs that are telling you that you're not loving yourself enough, and maybe next week I'm gonna do 5 things you can do to yourself to love yourself more. But if what I'm talking about resonates with you and you feel like, first, you are a single woman, second, you are struggling in love, meaning you keep attracting the wrong guys, you keep doing lots of effort and dating and going out there and to the parties, to social events, and you are not attracting the right kind of guys, and you feel that doing some work on self-love would really benefit you because it would help you recognize your own value, start to help you start to respect and love yourself more, so you get the same back from the people around you, especially from the men. I've got something for you. Only until midnight today, I'm offering the Self-Love Intensive, which is 1-to-1, 90 minutes with me. And we will be focusing on self-love only. So there is a pre-session self-assessment which you have to fill out, and then we will see what is the burning issue right now. And then during the session we'll do certain exercises, and I'll give you some tips and suggestions which you can implement in your life straight after the session. You will get the recording of the session so you can keep coming back to it. And it's 90 minutes, as I said, and it's for women who compromise too much in love because they don't feel worthy of love, because they don't feel good enough, because they don't believe in themselves. They keep on losing themselves in relationships because they don't believe they deserve any better, and they overgive, they keep pleasing others, and they keep burning out and keep getting tired in those relationships, because these are all signs that you're not loving yourself. And if you're not loving yourself, you'll be attracting this kind of relationships, this kind of men who don't respect you and just take instead of giving as well. And it will be hard. Plus, you can do so much better. With a little bit of work, you can start sending different energy. You can show up as a high quality woman who values, respects and loves herself. So men will be giving that back to you. You will have stronger boundaries. You will have more trust in your choices. You will make better and more empowered romantic choices. You will doubt yourself less. You will believe in yourself more. You will feel worthy. You will feel good enough. And most of all, you will stop looking for approval because it's absolutely draining. You will be showing up authentically without editing yourself. You will stop feeling lonely and desperate, so you will just dissolve that really negative energy which doesn't help attracting right people, and you will feel happier. And when you feel happy, you are more attractive to the high quality guys. So if that sounds like you, please PM me today so I can send you the link to the landing page. And if you have any questions, post them below. You can make a comment under this live stream that you want to know more, and you can PM me as well, whichever way is better for you. And I'll be happy to send you more details and have you on the intensive. I'm looking forward to working with you. Keep well, my ladies. Hello, Patsy. Hello, Gosha. I can only see 2 names. Oh, there's Laurie as well. Rachel. Thank you for listening, ladies. If you have any questions, please post them below. Make any comments and I'll come back to it later. Keep well. Enjoy the rest of your day.